Here we are with the start of the Season 5 for the Smoke and Steel League event. Today, this broadcast is being brought to you by the 5th New Hampshire Regiment. Our first round to start off the season is going to be between the 8th Ohio and the 2 Corps regiments on the Crossley Creek map, followed up by our second round, which is going to be the Hagerstown Turnpike between the Missouri State Guard and the Free States Brigade. Here are the regiments playing on the Union side tonight, followed up by their opponents on the Confederate side. With this all in mind, server population right now is currently 400 on the dot. Confederates right now up by 2 on the Union side. In terms of artillery, each side has the option here. Confederates taking 6, the Union taking 13. Meanwhile, on cavalry, the Confederates taking 26, the Union taking 14. So you can do the math there, but nonetheless, should be a good fight here. Here's the strat sketch for each team going into today's round. Now, 2 Corps as the Union side for this round had a couple of slides, but we can only show one. But this will be their general approach to the battlefield. Looks like they're just going to go across, frankly, the entire map. Where's the Confederate defense? Very simple, just total straight line. And then I think the red lines on the outside mean the boundaries, although maybe they'll try to go on a flank, although I think it's out of bounds. But nonetheless, that's a strategy for both teams going into the round. 2 Corps Union, 8th Ohio is the Confederate defense. Frontline reporters for today. On the Union side, we have Archer here from the 6th Louisiana, 2 Corps. And then on the opposing Confederate side, you have Soundwave here from the 7th Michigan. Appreciate these guys so we can see what's going on the ground while also seeing what's going on in the sky. And if you're playing in this match, send me a link to your perspective, and that can go in the pinned comment of the video. So, Crossley Creek, a map has been historically favored towards the Confederate defensive side, although we've started to see the Union team win this map more and more with the ticket balance changes, which is why 2 Corps, playing as the Union side, might have decided to pick the Union team here. One team gets to pick the map, the other side gets to pick the side. Usually, I don't exactly know the rules for this. This is why we didn't have the standings to start. I've had a heck of a past week or so, and so hopefully by next week we can get all the UI talking about the standings and all of that. And I mean, it's the first week, everyone's tied essentially. That's why everyone has the quote-unquote 1 seed at the beginning of the video. But we'll get more information to you next week about that, and apologies if you wanted that for now, but fear not, it'll be here in due time. But nonetheless, for these matches, again, one team picks the map, the other team picks the side. 8th Ohio got to pick the map. They picked Crossley Creek. 2 Corps pick the Union side here, which leaves 8th Ohio to be on the Confederate team here, which, again, we've started seeing the Union team win this more often, and so we'll see how that works. This map is a 57% ticket advantage to the attacking Union side. The Union team, they have the 69th New York Infantry Regiment with the Springfield 42 and the 28th Massachusetts Infantry Regiment with the Enfield. They also have Battery McGilvery. Sorry if I butchered that, but they have 3 10-pounder Parrott rifles and 3 12-pounder Napoleons over on this side. As mentioned, they have the cavalry as well, although I don't see any of them. Well, I guess they're back here mounted. 5th Virginia here, 5th Virginia Cavalry. That's what they are now, as you can see in the tags there. But 6th Pennsylvania Regiment, they have the option of the Sharps carbine rifle, the saber, and then the pistol. Confederate defense, on the other hand, they have the 33rd Virginia with the option of the Lorenz and the Enfield. And they also have the 8th Alabama Infantry Regiment with the option of the Springfield 55 and the Enfield. They have a couple batteries, 2 of them on this map, compared to the Union who have 1. But they have Battery Carpenter, which I believe is this forward position here, as 1 3-inch ordnance rifle, and then 2 Napoleons. Which you can see those Napoleons on the right side. I was going to say the bright gold ones, but, you know, same thing. And then you have Battery Boys at the back here with 2 3-inch ordnance rifles and 4 Napoleons. Nonetheless, Confederates also have the cavalry. We saw they had a lot more on cav than the Union side did, and it looks like for now they're just waiting for a perfect time to strike back here on the battlefield. And similar to the 6th Pennsylvania that the Union has, they have the Sharps carbine rifle, the sabers, and then they also have the Colt Army, and that looks like it is 59th New York who's waiting for that to happen. Union team historically on this map, strategy-wise, we saw the strategy of 2 Corps was to more try to make this a shootout across the entirety of the map with Union having such a high ticket advantage, you'd think would work, but the Confederates hiding awfully well. They have the concealment of the bushes here on the left side, although they are kind of getting pinned up here. They're backing up a little bit in the center, which looks like it is defilated here. And then you obviously have this right side here, which has the concealment of the corn. And I mean, there's a couple occasional things that they aren't really using like the logs of a barn here. But nonetheless, Union for now keeping this shootout going. And I mean, plenty of time to figure out if the shootout's going to work or not. Right side of the line here, you got Sussex Brigade, all but 59th New York, who we saw in the Cav. You got 9th Louisiana to their left. 7th Michigan and 51st Alabama are going to complete this Confederate right side. Meanwhile, Confederate center here, looks like you have Colquitt's Brigade in line there with the 1st Confederate Infantry, 8th Ohio, and the Missouri State Guard on this Confederate left side. Meanwhile, opposing them on the Union side here, you have the 10th United States and Free States Brigade on this right side. You'll note 10th United States in a much more open order line than the Free States Brigade. To each their own, but I like the open order. That's for sure. In the center here, you got Jackson's Division, 5th Virginia Cavalry behind them, 23rd New York. And then you got 6th Louisiana up front, taking shots and then falling back. Again, there's not a lot of elevation change, but there's enough to, you know, where it can matter. 12th Virginia, 5th New Hampshire, and 20th Maine on the Union left.
Steady. Fire. Reload.
So that's it. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. What a great battle we have here.
So I'm going to give you about 3 seconds to aim. So you better be...
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, Union is winning the shootout right now in terms of raw tickets. I mean, obviously we just started with this map. The Union team's main spawn is in the center of your screen all the way back in the field. So it takes Union team a few minutes to move into the fight. But they've probably been shooting it out for, you know, about 5 or 6 minutes so far. And, I mean, they're up a lot more. Or they're up on tickets anyways. Again, not by a significant amount. So Union team will probably have to keep pushing up here and pushing the pace. Jackson Division pushing up to Volley. So normally what we see from Union team on this map is they'll try to charge one of the flanks. Normally they'll charge this side of the map because there's, you know, it's not as open compared to literally the rest of the map. So Union team has historically tried to punch their way through here, but Confederates can shove so many guys in this corner area here that it becomes a death trap for the Union team trying to push the position, which again, probably why you see this shootout going, which has been going for almost 6 minutes now, roughly. And, I mean, Confederate side is, I mean, down a fourth of a stage right now. So the Union team's going to have to inch up their lines, or they're going to have to charge. Either or. Charging is probably not a good option. I like charging, but, again, on this map, it's really dangerous. And, again, it's dangerous just because, one, it's a difficult position to charge. But on top of this, too, you'll see a lot of times if Union team charges this side of the map, the far right side, they'll charge as far as they can next to out of bounds, and the Confederates will wrap around their side and flank them and completely swallow them up. So it's, you know, it can be very difficult. But I mean, so far Union making it work with the shootout. I wonder if they just got to inch forward and be in the open, because at a certain point, you know, you have a huge ticket advantage. You could try to sit in the open field and shoot it out here a little longer than sitting so far back. I mean, you sitting in open might force the, or might not force necessarily, but the Confederates might be like, well, they're in the open, we should engage them a little more. But who knows, right? Confederates seem to be wanting to try to play this game in time, forcing the Union team to collapse in. Obviously, we saw the strat sketches at the beginning of the round, which we can look back again here. But, yeah, I mean, Confederates at least a little further back from their initial lines. But I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory here. Meanwhile, I guess, so I mentioned two-course strategy here. They had 5 slides. 5 slides. So the first slide we showed was called the Grand Battery, so just the introductory stages of the map. Then it looks like if the shootout, and this is what the text is on the screen, the lines don't really move a whole lot, but if the shootout's working for Union, it looks like they are going to push forward here, keep pushing into the field, which you could argue it's working in terms of tickets, not so much on time, but if the shootout's working, Union team's going to keep pushing their way up in the field, wait for the Confederates to you know, push forward again, because if Union's winning a shootout, Confederates are going to fall back, presumably try to get into cover, which, I mean, some of the Confederate regiments are getting into the battery position. We see this a little bit. They're holding back, getting in cover, right? But Union pushes forward as the Confederates fall back in the shootout, and then eventually if the Confederates respond, you know, Union falls back a little bit. I mean, 2 Corps has plans for if they're charging. I mean, they have, like, they have cases for everything. Flags, no flags. 1 flag, 2 flag, 3 flag, 4 flag. Actually 5 flags. If you think about it.
There's an artillery man there. Kill that man.
But I think Union teams should try to push forward a little sooner than later at this point. I mean, we're almost a third of the way through that black timer. And I mean, they're winning on tickets, but, you know, if time was infinite, whoever had more tickets will probably do well. But Union side here, limited by that time. Really, the attackers are in this game, which, I mean, for the most part, I think is Union. And Antietam was a Confederate defense. One that should have been swallowed up. You know, the Battle of Antietam, whenever I watch those documentaries, or when you go to the battlefield, they overview the video. Although I guess they changed the video, which I haven't seen, but I've heard bad things about the new video there, because they don't really talk about the battle a whole lot. They talk about everything around the battle, and the cultural effects, the societal effects, and I haven't seen the video, this is what I was told. And, like, sure, don't get me wrong, it can be an important aspect, but if I go to a battlefield, I am there to learn about the battle itself and what happened there at the battle, not necessarily the impact. Again, obviously you could say, well, the impact and the stuff around that is we're at the battlefield, but if I'm showing up to a battlefield, I care what happened on the land in front of me. So, but, yeah, Battle of Antietam, every time I watch an overview of that, it's kind of like, man, the Union really could have swallowed them up there, but it didn't happen. Like, imagine if Harper's Ferry holds out for a day or two longer. Confederates can't sweep up to stop Burnside going up the Confederate defensive line there. But, you know, it's kind of crazy to think about, and it's, you know, honestly kind of impressive in a sense to march all that way and then save your army like that. So, Union lines really pushing up. 6th Louisiana, they need some help here. I mean, they got numbers, but I wish more of their team would push up with them. Which, again, the leading regiments, 6th Louisiana, 2 Corps, 5th Virginia Cavalry, and then you have 8th Ohio on the Confederate side. They are the leading regiments here. They control what happens on their team. Now, obviously, it won't be followed perfectly because that's impossible to do, but, you know, they command the armies, and looks like Jackson's division is pushing up with them. So, 2 Corps is really trying to push this pace, and, I mean, this shootout is working wonderfully. I was watching this map on I was watching this map on Sunday for the historical rules event, and I mentioned, right, Union team likes to charge the far side here, right next to out of bounds where their hay bales are at, and just get completely slaughtered. And I was mentioning in the broadcast, I'm like, I wonder what would happen if the Union team just tried to make it a shootout, because they have a 57% ticket advantage, and so far it's working out pretty dang well. Again, it's doing great on tickets. Union team's almost up a half morale stage. Looks like Union in the center taking a little too much fire, so they back off. But again, they're up nearly a half a morale stage at this point. But then the concern is going to be the time, because it's taking the Union team a good amount of time here to knock the Confederates down to engage. They're not even there yet. 59th New York Cav has moved into the corn here. I mean, this has kind of been the thing, too. The cavalry for CSA has sat back and essentially done nothing this entire round. And so that's, you know, 20-some guys that aren't in the firefight, and it looks like they're being ordered to actually get into the fight, which makes sense. And I'm a little surprised you got 51st Alabama still up here in the center. I mean, they're the only Confederate group on this snake fence, essentially. Everyone else is backed off. Which, I mean, they are crouched, and they have a cover of a horse. Never mind. You know, who are you? I'm sorry, Dudley. Forgive me. It was my fault. It was all my fault. It looks like they're gonna toodaloo off. Now, what Union can do, right, is if the Confederates keep backing off here, and the Union team inches forward and the Confederates stay back, Union team can early cap that point whenever they want. Point being in the center here, which a lot of the firefight has destroyed the snake fence across this entire width of the map. Well, they can early cap, but the concern for Union is you have such a big ticket lead, you want to throw it away. But, I mean, if you're running out of time, you got to do something, right?
I'm around like 20 people.
I have you know, boy. I have died more times standing by you than standing away from you. My
I'm
artillery
very
shell.
good at CFDs. I got hit with artillery.
I don't give a fuck, so is Doug.
Doug is autistic.
Your point? You are too. You have 2 fucking degrees,
Nowhere
dude. You
near
have
as much as
autism.
How the fuck about this much right
We all play War of Rights. Anyways. We love the voice chat. A beautiful thing, isn't it? My goodness. So, Confederates engaged. It's been 18 or so minutes. Wow, wow. Who's this officer? Dressel doesn't care about his men. He just knocked over someone. No regard for his men. Hashtag boycott drive. I'm kidding.
Gentlemen, you will cut the grass. You are an independent. Remove bayonets on your next load.
You know, if Zapstar was my golf coach,
Hold once you are fired.
and maybe I'd probably play good. You know, you hear cut the grass all the time. It's, again, like playing golf. Back in high school when I played that. I mean, that would be this the thing, cut the grass, you know, probably the most repeated thing. Now, was I good at golf? No. Did I do anything with it? No, but I still have my clubs. I have about the worst stance I think you could have for golf. Because normally you try to line your arms, like, straight from, like, your chest, like, straight down to the ground. And then your wrists are, like, straight pointed forward, I'm pretty sure. And again, I don't play golf. I'm not good at golf. I haven't played in a while, so if I'm wrong, and I'm sorry. But this is my general understanding. You're supposed to be pretty straight. But the thing is I bend my wrists, like, back to the right. So imagine normal golf. You bend your hands to the right. And, like, my whole stance is, like, my body's pressure, or, like, I lean forward a little. It's weird. It's very weird. My golf stance was right to start, and then the coach, I think sophomore year of high school, he was more of a babysitter than anything. Nice guy, a babysitter. And my stance became horrible, and I just kind of stuck with it at that point. Nonetheless, Union team looks like they're going to push it. Confederates giving up a lot of the ground is going to allow the Union team to walk up, and Confederates want to meet Union. You can't let Union sit here. 10th United States about to take the brunt of this. Difficult to see with the concealment. Confederates maybe deciding here. A lot of Union in the open field just sitting back. Looks like they're trying to bait them forward. So Union's going to get thrown back here, but again, Union can afford these casualties being up a significant amount of tickets. The whole point of this is to draw the CSA in to engage in close combat to bring those tickets down fast.
Keep shooting in the bushes. Keep shooting in the bushes.
Southeast. Same for the leg. Same for the leg. Southeast.
How the fuck did I just miss that? Oh my god.
Flag, get the flag.
You fucking jerked it, that's why, dude.
So Union maintains the hold. Confederates, looks like they're starting to back off here. I think they realize the game Union's playing, but if they're going to back off, they got to go together. You can't be backing off half your team and then the other half sit forward and get in close combat. You're just going to lose even worse that way.
But then I heard Bate say, get back with 8th Ohio. I said, okay.
Dude, Discord, I can barely hear it, bro. I don't know what.
You're fine.
You're fine, said the guy watching his friend die. So Confederates are going to start backing off here. I mean, the only groups holding forward right now, Missouri State Guard.
Fucking hurt.
For the most part here, Union doesn't even have everyone forward right now. Looks like it's just 10th United States, though, respawning. Opposite side of the map here. 5th New Hampshire's charging on 51st Alabama and 59th.
Put him down, put him down, put him.
Headshot, boys.
And counter, up over the middle.
Every shot to cycle the revolver.
Keep pushing, keep pushing. North.
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, pull back, we're done. That's it.
5th New Hampshire's pushed back here. 20th Maine's like, ooh, we like it. And then they stop. But yeah, I mean, this shootout's working out phenomenally for the Union team here. And again, the strategy for this map has always been charge, charge, charge as Union. But with the ticket balance changes and Confederates being good at defense, you know, it can work out real well to your favor. And that's going to be the difficult thing, I think, balancing a map like this, is if Union team charges nonstop all day, more likely than not, they're going to get absolutely destroyed. But if this shootout method, which we're seeing working phenomenally so far, and it destroys the CSA, you know, there's no good round. It's not like charging and shooting equals the same result. But look at that. Union push forward, Confederates counter charge. Union just keep trying to draw the CSA out. So, I mean, Union going in there is going to lose in the end. But again, they did exactly what they need to do. Union's up by almost a morale stage now. And why is Fear, like, trying to war farm?
Oh my god, I'm so scared.
Yeah, I was like, wait. Oh yes, let me just trot in front of the enemy. Let me overform on them. Like, what? Balance was noted trying to fix. Uh-oh. Confederates right now up by 12. Which 15-man imbalance is where it's too much to overcome, but I mean, that's the thing, right? Union team's down by 12. Significant, right? If this is a horrible situation, the devs, I think, are going to have to mess with the boundaries of the map. Because if Union team charges a lot and they get absolutely destroyed by defense, and then compared to the polar opposite, where if Union makes it a shootout and they dominantly win, those are two extremes based on two different strategies. And so the attacking team usually controls how the match is going to go, usually. And if I'm the attackers, and I know I'm going to dominantly win with one strat and horribly lose with another strat, I'm going to pick the strategy that I'm going to dominantly win, right? So Union team going forward on this map, realistically, is just going to make it a shootout all day. And then the devs are probably, now this is assuming enough Union teams on this map end up doing that strat, because more likely than not, we're still probably going to see charging for a while, because metas take some time to switch, because people usually don't like testing things outside of the norm of what's been done, especially if it's worked in the past, which for Crossley Creek, it did work, but the tickets started changing, and now it's kind of like, eh. But also the defenders have gotten better on a lot of these maps. That's what we've seen with maps like Fleming's Meadow, for example, which, if you don't know the map, let's see if I can find it briefly. And I'm literally going to spend like a few seconds trying to look for it, and if I can't find it. But Fleming's Meadow, I might be looking at it and just not seeing it. But Fleming's Meadow, when the map came out, Union team won that map non-stop. And it took time for the Confederate defense to realize where the good defensive position, which was alongside the point, since there's a hill and they can have a depth light across the entire map. Once they figured that out, that map has been CSA biased like crazy. Until ticket balance changes have made it where Union could potentially win in a shootout. And we've seen that in the playoffs of last season in this event. When they changed the ticket balance changes only a couple days before. But, yeah. I mean, it's going to be very hard to balance with tickets alone. You can't balance this with tickets, because if Union, let's say Union team non-stop goes with the strategy of sitting and shooting out on this map, the devs are going to give CSA a lot more tickets. Understandably, right? But the problem is if you're giving CSA more and more tickets, you're making it impossible for the Union team to ever want to charge on this map off the rip. And so you're really forcing people to choose a strategy, which is what I don't like about, I don't want with a strategy game. You don't want to, you know, make the meta of the game favor just one strategy over and over again. Because that just gets repetitive and boring, you know? And obviously, it's not an easy task to balance the game well, but, you know, I think they should maybe try to expand the boundaries of stuff with this map, because, well, it's just, you got to give ways for Union to outflank. Like, Union boundary for this side of the map should be at that pond. It shouldn't be at the hay bales. So, a couple of Union cav here pushing forward. Okay, the fact that those guys got to the line is impressive there, but yeah. I mean, because... It's like, how do you balance a map like this? And I mean, in the end, right, but one side got to pick the map, one team gets to pick the side, so in the end you can kind of be like, well, why did 8th Ohio pick this map if it's this bad? Well, you know, that's a question for them. Hindsight can be a thing, but, you know, in the end, one team picks a side, one team picks a map, and that's the difficult part with with War of Rights, and you see this with other games. There's a great YouTube video, and I keep mentioning it infrequently, but... Uh-oh, here comes a horse. Watch it! But there's a great video. Let me look up the exact name of it. It's such a good video. It's called Dead DBDs or Dead by Daylight's Failed Esports Scene. And it's just real ironic coming from me, considering we'd be on Wednesdays for a long time. But the quote from that video was saying that you can't balance an unbalanced game with rules alone that you implement as a player on a server or whatever. It's impossible to have an esports scene or something truly even and competitive out of a game that is just not fair. And War of Rights is not a fair game by any means. And ticket balance changes and map design and all of that can really play an impact on all of it. You do have some Confederates leaking out to the right side, trying to flank here. 51st Alabama, 1st Delaware. You got the Sussex Brigade. 20th Maine, 12th Virginia moved to counter this. They're trying to charge, but 5th Delaware getting a couple shots on that. Come on, guys. Hit somebody. There you go. So, that'll back the Confederates off the right side. Fascinatingly, too, Confederates have a more, are split 50-50 with who's on the left and who's on the right. Union has a lot more guys than the Confederates left, so Union numbers are... I mean, they're just kind of out shooting on this side, which is... Maybe Confederates are mounting on this side again to try to get a flank on the Union team, but... The Confederate team, the problem for them at this point is that... I mean, what can they do, right? They're not going to charge the Union team. Why would you do that? You're slowly losing the shootout, giving up ground. And so, if you're Confederates, you have to turtle. You have to turtle. You're not winning at this point. You're down a morale stage. I mean, you could try to play for time, but Union's starting to do fairly well on time ever since they've pushed up. I mean, Confederate main spawn, I think it's a little ways into the woods here. That's what they got to do. And that's something else is, you know, on a map that can be heavily biased towards an attacker here, well, Crossley Creek, not necessarily the case, but the strategy that 2 Corps implemented, very phenomenal. I love to see it, especially since I was asking for it on Sunday, or at least mentioning it to be, you know, an idea to do. But, I mean, we saw this a lot in the playoffs of last season, where attackers would be winning by a lot and the defenders would refuse to turtle. You have to turtle. A lot of people don't like the strategy. It's a very controversial strategy for, like, what does turtling mean? That means move really slow. No, it doesn't. It means you fall back to your main spawn, which is back here, and you sit and hide. You hide so that the attackers can't kill you, and you kill that clock. And you force the attackers to early cap. Because the only way Confederates are winning at this point is if they force the Union early cap. And they're not budging. They're a 4th of a morale stage from breaking. At that point, the Union team, if they capture a point, they win. And I mean, here's the thing, too. You might be like, well, Union's right next to the point. They might, I mean, 8th Ohio needs to turtle, or else, you know, they kind of earn the loss, in a sense. Because 2 Corps played phenomenal. Great strat by them. CSA, you can't really do much, right? But if you have an opportunity to come back in the match and you're not doing it, it's like, why aren't you doing it? And to my understanding, there's no rules and stuff in the event. Turtling is a very controversial strategy is mentioned. I mean, I don't think they have any rules. I mean, and they could have something in the rules that go against this. Which, again, I haven't looked at. Wow. These rules in this channel are really tiny. Holy crap. How many pages are rules here? You know, you're probably like, you know, maybe you should, you know, look at the rules before the event starts. Maybe. You're probably right. 27 pages. Let me see. Well, Control F for our great word, the turtle. Turtle is not set in here. Okay, but what about points? Nonetheless, what the heck? Crossley Brigade's charging out 12th Virginia and 5th New Hampshire. They knocked down a flag. 5-minute despawn timer on that.
Hit the snake rail. Hold that ground, gentlemen. You heard him. Slaughter him as we go.
Lots of TKs, boys. Lots of TKs.
So, they'll get some kills that'll knock Union down to taking losses. Confederates are really spread out at this point. They do have the flank. I'd be really funny if Union here just pushed forward, but probably not. I mean, Union team at this point can keep the shootout going. They probably might just inch some guys up to the point. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the concern for Union at this point is if you get wiped off the field and flags are down, you're in a rough way. Again, the shootout working wonderfully in tickets, wonderfully in time so far, but they haven't been wiped. If the Confederates can find a way to wipe the Union team, then this could get real dicey for Union because their main spawn, again, is all the way back there. And if the flags are down for 5 minutes and then they despawn, Union team's going to lose a lot of minutes. And at the Confederates, that's really, I think, your best chance. Because at this point, if you die, or rather, if you lose point, game over. Confederates pushing out, a little scattered here, but they are pushing out. If Crossley Brigade can get on the flank, which they're starting to do, and if they can collapse on Union and wipe their flags inbounds, this battle could change in CSA's favor. So Confederates put bodies on point, engaging Union as they can, as they should, really. Union lines starting to consolidate. But see CSA getting to a point now. They're charging out Union Arty, who's not looking this way, understandably.
Do not chase them to their line. That's it. They're dead. A company, fall back with me. Let's go. Back to the woods. Back to...
And Union team starting to slowly get pushed back into a core here. Out of bounds is a little this way. It's not the snake fence for whatever reason. But Confederates got to wipe Union flags in bounds here. That's your only shot of pulling something out at this point. And I mean, this Sussy here intending to start this motion.
All the flags.
Looks like they will. You hear them? They're talking about flags. There they go. They're the only ones, it seems.
Flags, boys.
One's down. The rest of the Confederates starting to pour in. Boomstein here. What a legend. Gets the flag out. Confederates charge in. Oh, is he going to get it out? Cavaliers. He gets it out of bounds. Kumstein and Cavaliers gets it out. Union main spawns have come back and picked up the down flag over here. Is this flag in bounds? Looks like it is. But Union team is going to get 2 or 3 of their flags out of bounds here on this side. Very significant. Confederates charging out. There's no need for this.
Form lines here. Form lines here. Hold form lines. Form lines. Form lines. Form lines.
I'm going to put this in the intro of the video, and someone's going to be like, wow, the Union team must have stuck on this map. Anyways, Confederate lines are pushing forward here. Looks, yeah, that's so Union's down 1 flag right now. 5-minute despawn timer on that. Won't despawn until the 4-minute mark. And honestly, that flag might not see battle if the Union team doesn't pick it up before it despawns. But Confederates charging Union here, trying to defeat in detail still. So Union flag will get out there. Now, I think it's, you know, honestly at this point, Confederates have to keep the Union spread out. They have to defeat in detail, and they have to knock down flags. That's the Confederate strategy at this point. And they were not able to get down the Union flags that were up here. Huge props to Union. Union should have been down 2 or 3 flags up here, but the individual efforts, again, by, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, Boomstein. Rhymes with boom. It's like 5 big booms. Boom. Anyways, Boomstein and Cavaliers, I mean, really well done on their part. Confederates a third of a morale stage here from Last Stand, where if they die, they don't come back. And, you know, the intent of this, I think, is to keep that Union flag down. But man, makes the fighting a little better for Union, who probably is going to form up, and they might push up through the woods here.
We're under fire right now.
Up and over on the star.
Speaking of,
Go, 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 go. Break your load.
Get up there, spread it out and shoot. Get up there, spread it out and shoot.
Confederates look like they were waiting for the Union to pop up, but more and more Union are piling in, and Confederates are going to have to adjust.
Formation! Formation!
Keep up the independent fire.
Northeast.
Keep shooting him. Keep shooting him.
And any second now, could not any second, but in a minute or so, the Confederate team is going to hit Last Stand. And if they die, they don't come back.
Independent guys, you see them all. You see them
Independent
all.
fireboys, independent. You see something, shoot them.
A lot of clear shots in front. A lot of clear shots in front. Get them while you can, boys. Get them while you can. Along that fence.
Fire into the bush, that's it.
That is a... Whoa. That already shot ricochet off the rock there. How you do, good sir? What's it like here sitting on the battlefield here? You got a great view of the Union lines here. Isn't it a beauty? Just all smoking off. What do you think of the ever-changing battlefield, sir? Am I getting too close? Do you feel nervous? Anyways, Confederates at Last Stand. Now if they die, they don't come back. Union team has 5 minutes to try to wipe the Confederates. Charge happening on the far east side of the map. Confederates have to hold a majority, or they just have to have more boys. Blah, 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 blah. That was English, by the way.
Oh, you better catch me, buddy. Hold on. Let me reload. Come on. Let's be gentlemen about this. Tundra, defend me, please. Defend my honor.
That's right. Waste your life. Waste your life. Kill.
Anyways. Yeah, Confederates need a majority on point when the clock hits 0. And then they'll win the game. This officer's kind of popping off here, Dressel. How do you even survive that? I'm sorry.
Oh, Dressel. Godspeed, brother.
Pick up the flag. Pick it up. Pick it up. Pick it up.
Don't pick up that flag.
Let's start. You know what?
Kidding. You don't pick up a down flag when your team can't respawn anymore. That's the only point of the flag, really, other than looking cool. But, you know, I guess that's not productive. It's like, do I buy the $50,000 car that looks really cool, or the crappy car for $20,000 that doesn't look that cool? I think I buy the $50,000 one because it looks cool. That's what I like about cars. They get me to A to B and don't care too much how they look. As long as they drive. Union line's pushing forward here. Confederates are just trying to hold back here. Again, just try to save off as many bodies as they can until time runs out. They have a little pincer here. Now, Confederate team, I think they could risk it because the thing is they're going to slowly lose in this shootout. What the Confederates could try to do is say, F it, we ball. We're charging in. We're going to try to force the Union out. And if they win the charge and knock Union flags down, they win the game. But you're not going to survive a shootout for 3 minutes. So honestly, I think a charging is the move here. 5 minutes left with last stand. You're not going to do that. And Union team is slowly whittling you down. They're not putting bodies on point. And you're not going to be able to contest that because then you'll have to push in. I mean, charging across this is rough, but you know, what is a man going to do? Here they come. They have to hold the point. If they force Union off, they'll most likely win the game, but Union has numbers. Here we go.
Here they come, boys.
Help me.
They're behind us. They're behind us. They're behind us. I got the flag.
Only 20 Confederates left. Union numbers on point, and that is going to do it to start Season 5 of Smoke and Steel League. Confederates, 8th Ohio defeated. 2 Corps, Union victorious. And that is the season. Congrats to 2 Corps on winning Season 5 of Smoke and Steel League. I hope you all enjoyed it. We'll be in the off-season for the next 2 months until we play another match between the Shenandoah Regulars and 23rd New York. Anyway, stop. Nah, it's the start of a very, very long season. Which they posted the schedule. Which, if there's no contestants, the regular season is going to end on November 11th. Which, odds are there will be a contestant by then. And then playoffs will probably go through the rest of the year. Especially with, you know, Christmas and Thanksgiving and whatnot. But, yeah, we'll be here to cover all of it and more. I know I'm acting like it's the outro, but, you know, it's a nice little transition point. I will be gone, though, in a couple weeks to see some Civil War battlefields, and we'll miss that matchup. But, you know, it is what it is. Anyways, really good job from 2 Corps. Like I said, a couple days ago, mentioned when watching this map, it'd be cool to see Union just sit across the map and shoot it out. And that's what they did, and it was clearly victorious. Casualties even, but tickets weren't. See y'all shortly for round 2. Before we get into the second round, I'd like to thank our YouTube members for your support. Your support helps me keep doing the work that I do here on top of many of the things that we want to do in the future here with the Battle Line Network channel. If you want to get a live stream of all the War of Rights broadcasts that we do and to get an exclusive video on the weekly, please go beneath the video and hit the join button and considering helping us out. Again, thank you YouTube members for your support. It's greatly appreciated. And with that being said, I hope you enjoy the second round. And here we are with the start of our second round. Who would have thought, you know, the second round comes after the first. Beautiful, isn't it? Superpopulation right now. I'm sorry for my stupidity. 391's our total pop. Confederates right now down by 6 on the Union side. Each side has artillery. No cavalry unless you're an officer and choose to spawn in with it. But Confederates look like they're taking 11 on artillery. The Union is taking 8. So the infantry in balance is going to be 8 in favor of the Union side. Here's the strat sketch for each team going into this round. Something to note, Missouri State Guard, they picked this map. The Hagerstown Turnpike Free States Brigade, the opposing side, picked Union. So their strategy is on the left side. Looks like they're just going to try to make it a shootout across the open field, which is what we've seen a lot over the past year or so with this map. And then Missouri State Guard being forced to be the CSA side. Looks like they're just going to hold on their kind of far left side. And obviously you can pause the video and read all the text there as you so please. But nonetheless, Hagerstown Turnpike, everyone. Yay! 18% advantage to the attacking Union side. Union has the 14th Brooklyn with the Enfield and the 6th Wisconsin with the option of the Lorenz and the Springfield 61. Union battery location is to the northwest side here. They're a bit away from the fight, but they can roll their guns up to this hill if Union has it. But as you can see, Union does not. The Confederates do. And this battery here, Battery Campbell, they have 3 12-pound Napoleons, and they have 3 3-inch ordnance rifles. Meanwhile, the Confederate defense, they have the 1st Louisiana Zouaves of the Mississippi, and then they also have the 9th Louisiana Infantry Regiment with the option of the Springfield 55 and the Springfield 42. You could tell the 1st Louisiana Zouaves apart because they don't, it looks like they just have a bunch of pajamas on. Not consistent, not uniform, but beautiful in their own way. They also have, again, the Mississippis. You can tell the weapons here. They're shorter than your normal rifle. I don't recall if they're more accurate or not, but they're shorter. So not that great at melee, but great at shooting. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I don't entirely remember. But nonetheless, looks like you have a little bit of a shootout. 1st Confederate Infantry, 9th Louisiana hitting it up here with 2 Corps, which normally you don't see fighting this far side of the map, but 2 Corps here trying to wrap around the Confederate left side. Not a bad idea. But more and more Confederates are pushing this way. 7th Michigan looking to push up and help here. Colquitt's Brigade holding further back. Union team, the point is kind of wide open, so if they early cap, there's not really a downside to that. But 7th Michigan pushing up here, getting a little aggressive.
Independent fire, boys. Fire it up.
Independent fire on the line.
Independent fire, so the independent fire.
What's up? What's up?
Red.
Reload in place. Kill and kill.
Ooh, nice shot. Lead.
Independent fire. There's nothing to shoot at.
Lead when ready, boys. Don't move
I
up.
can see.
Don't move up. Let's sit low.
It looks suspicious.
They're in the bush.
So, 7th Michigan, 51st Alabama, they're slowly pressing up on 2 Corps, whose line's falling back. Again, a lot of attention being drawn this way, but it is allowing Union to easily kind of cap the point, which the Confederates don't want. And holy crap, Stussy just stops it in the nick of time. 20th Maine backing off.
And get ready to pull. Get ready to pull. Not yet. Keep shooting. We drop this to neutral and we pull back to our... Here. Alright, pull back. Let's go. We're done. Can't hold.
So, Sussy's going to stop that. Generally, for the Confederates here, you don't want Union to cap the point in a shootout like this because it's going to draw more of your team into the open here. And I have to adjust something quickly. I realized I set the live stream for the members to be 1 level too high. So give me a second. So, alright, fix that. Anyways, my apologies for that. I want to get it straight. You know, the members, they purchase a $5 monthly membership to watch the live streams. You got to make that happen. At least $5 USD. So anyways, yeah. It's 2 Corps keeping a lot of the Confederate attention on the left side, which is allowing Union team to easily walk up and take the point. Now, if I'm Union here, I almost don't early cap just due to the fact that you're up by a third of a morale stage in tickets, and we just started, but 2 Corps being charged down over here.
Get there. Let me know we're so very bad.
Hold the back! Hold the back!
Come here, you dirty Yankee. Kill these Yankees.
Chase the flag down!
So that charge will work, but the problem for the Confederates long term here is the strategy so far is not really favoring them in the shootout. Now, Union's pushing more guys up. They're trying to just send a couple guys out to capture the point. Saucy Brigade here really stopping that. There's a couple other Confederate groups we haven't mentioned. 8th Ohio holding behind the Defilade there. Confederate main spawn is over here, and then you have the battery position on the far right side. 9th Louisiana looks like they're mostly in that. And Missouri State Guard is hunkering down to the right side of them. Union shootout formation here. You have Jackson's division on the left side here. 5th New Hampshire, 12th Virginia here in the center. And then starting to push up more on this right side. You obviously have 2 Corps who just got wiped in that charge, but they did a good job of distracting a lot of the CSA. You have the 10th United States pushed up forward with Free States Brigade, 59th New York backing off because Union's off point. And then 10th United States over here in the corner on the right side.
Second bed on the left. Second bed on the left.
Second horse is
Same battalion to the south.
So, Union team looks like, despite, even though they're up, actually the ticket gap looks a lot closer than what I thought. Jeez. But, yeah, I guess early capping is not as bad. Maybe I thought it would have been a few minutes ago. Again, Union is up on tickets, so Confederates retake the point. You know, they're going to regain tickets. But, I mean, something to consider, right, is if the Union team is winning right now on a shootout, even if it's a slight amount, right? Again, unlike the previous map, which had a 57% ticket advantage, this map now has an 18% ticket advantage to the Union attacking side. So, again, not even close to as big of a difference. But if the Union team is edging out a shootout in tickets, you know, you can kind of, you think about long term, right? Sure, it sucks if you early cap, Confederates retake, and they regain a bunch of tickets. But what you do is through the early cap and stopping the timer, you force the Confederates into the open field here. You bring both sides down a lot of tickets. And then if the Confederates regain tickets and are equal with you, you can just continue shooting them down. And then presumably, like we've seen the entire round with Union winning a shootout, Union will keep winning the shootout after the fact. Again, it sucks that the defenders can regain some tickets from an attacker's perspective, but I mean, still, you know, if the trends stay the same. So, Union team, their line is essentially pushed forward. We're seeing what 2 Corps essentially did in the previous round, except on a different map. Although this map on Hagerstown is much more of a, I don't know if you want to say well-known, but much more meta strategy for Union to play on this map. And, I mean, the Confederates are going to have to respond. Now, generally, if you're the Confederate team, you're going to want to respond sooner, the latter than later. Because, right, here's the thing. Both sides are still losing tickets right now. And if Confederates retake, which, you know, as a defender, you hope to retake. Otherwise, you lose the game if Union holds it for 19 more minutes. But if the Confederates retake the point, they regain up to where Union's at because they're down. So if they retook it right now, they'd regain a 4th of a morale stage and be right where Union is on the bar. Now, Confederates will have less tickets overall, even though the bars visually show the same, because again, as mentioned, Union has a ticket advantage. The bars just show what percentage are you, how much tickets do you have left compared to the amount of total tickets you have. Like, what's that percentage? And if Union has a larger percentage, if the bars are the same, Union's going to have more raw tickets. Nonetheless, there's a lot of jargon. You didn't understand that. You kind of don't, the only thing you need to understand is Confederates retake the point, they regain some tickets, and they're even percentage-wise with Union. That's a simple way to do it. I kind of, you know, we're a little nerdy. We're not doing the War of Rights tutorial 2.0. But here's the thing, right? Union team is losing tickets right now. And if the Confederates don't try to retake the point and they draw this counterattack into a long shootout, that means they're not going to regain as high on the ticket bar as they maybe could, right? If they retook at the beginning of this counterattack, they would be, you know, a 4th or a 3rd of the way remaining in battle ready. But if this shootout goes for like another 10 minutes, Union might be, you know, halfway through breaking or whatever. Or no, whoa, that's a jump. Halfway through engaged, or a 4th of the way through engaged, a 3rd of the way through engaged. And that means Confederates coming out of this will only be at that point instead of where it is, you know, potentially right now, which is a 4th of morale stage left in battle ready. So generally you want to try to retake as quickly as possible. However, you know, there's always exceptions to the rule. If a map is all about kills and tickets alone, which this map is turning to because the fact that both sides are engaged, even if you disregard the counterattack, right? 33.5 minutes on the black timer for defenders to engage is really fast. So this map is going to be much more about who's going to be able to win the ticket battle than anything. So Confederates, I think, can afford to not recapture right away and instead try to find a way to get a ticket lead. But so far it doesn't seem like that. It really feels like Union outnumbers CSA, and I think that's just because Union is much more spread out. I mean, it's an 11-man infantry imbalance right now. And seriously, it just feels like Union outnumbers Confederates by a lot. But look how tightly compact the Confederates are here behind this hill here. So tight. So much togetherness. You gotta wonder where they're gonna push out or when. Union artillery over shots. Point is in the center of the map here, as we've kind of seen teams try to by teams I mean the Union early cap. You got to wonder what the Confederates are thinking. Looks like... Ooh, are they going to charge this? 59th New York seems to want to lead something here. And they're getting shot to crap. They're in a crossfire. Union lines are just bending here. More Confederates on the move. Looks like they might try to do something now. Mind you, Confederate ticket loss. Drink water. Don't talk too much. Oh my goodness. Here's a charge.
Facing north, spear wall facing north.
Man, you guys need to work on your spear wall.
Confederates trickling forward. Why are some guys charging? Why are some sitting back and shooting? That's not going to work. I was going to say before, Confederate tickets don't matter as much right now because if they retake, they're going to regain tickets to where Union's at. So it's not the worst thing that they, get wiped in a charge here. But this just seems like poor execution. I mean, Union team has a real nice strategy here. Maybe Confederates are trying to pull Union attention away to allow some guys to run around and cap point. 8th Ohio's over here. I like the 8th Continental rep, even though that event has been done for a month and a day at this point. I respect it, though.
There was a day I beat my jet, but I'm going to send a lot of them with me.
Oh my god, we are toe-to-toe with them. This is
Uh-oh.
crazy.
Red's going. He gets a kill, knocks over another, gets another kill, and dies.
I can't hit.
So you could see Union team doing a really good job of surrounding the Confederates over here. They got a little semicircle, but that has provided a distraction for the CST to get themselves on point. Missouri State Guard on the far side here. We already saw 8th Ohio here. Looks like 59th New York is joining up with them.
Spacing, long line, long line.
This is a fucking reload battle. It's insane.
Oh God, I hate how close we are. I'm gonna shoot you so good. I'm gonna shoot you so good.
But Union numbers are starting to turn this way as the Confederates back off from the hill here. And if I'm Union team, I contest this point as much as you can, all right? Confederates are going to regain tickets here up to where you're at. So if you're the Union team, you need to charge the Confederates because if you win, you hold the point. Great. If you lose, though, you lose a lot of tickets, and that means the Confederates can't regain as many.
Spread her like butter. 2 minutes spacing, spread it out.
Spread.
So Confederates are starting to take the point back. Union side here. Union team. Free States Brigade should not let Missouri State Guard defense here just retake the point and regain a whole morale stage in tickets. That's, I mean, again, Union team's been dominating this round in the shootout, and it'll probably continue that way. But if you're going to allow the Confederates to just regain a whole morale stage in tickets, that's a huge mistake to make. And it looks like that's what's going to happen. Union instead looks like they're trying to take... This is a missed priority from Free States Brigade here. So Confederates are going to retake and regain a lot of tickets. Why are you charging? Ah, okay. So Confederates regain a whole morale stage. They do knock down a Confederate flag, which is maybe what they were eyeing up. Confederate numbers starting to turn back to this side. Are they going to join this? No. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. No, they're starting to. Union numbers back up. Confederates look like they're going to be able to pick up that down flag. And both sides lose about a fourth of morale stage due to that charge that we just saw. I mean, I know I said that Union should charge, and I like that they charged. When I was saying why did they charge, it's more like why are you charging over on this side of the map instead of the point? That was what I was trying to say with that, but I didn't want to keep charging or talking while that charge was going on, at least initially. So, nonetheless, Missouri State Guard, Confederate Defense, they're going to regain essentially a whole morale stage of tickets there. Black Timer's going to continue. The charge brings both sides down again. As we talked about, right? Union's still in a very good spot, just due to the fact that if they continue the shootout here, they, I mean, they'll likely just win it out, right? Because they've been winning this whole round in the shootout. There's no reason why. There's no reason why it should really change a whole lot. Now, again, Confederates might make adjustments, which Confederates are really, I mean, maybe they're just resetting still, but actually, yeah, I think they're resetting. A lot of those guys are starting to push back out to the Confederate left side. They're not as far over as they were. And, I mean, Union does have a fair bit of numbers here. 2 Corps, Jackson's division.
You ready?
So, I mean, we'll see when they go over. You do have some Union guys pushing on point again, early capping. And, I mean, part of it, too, is if Union just keeps... if the plan for them is to keep early capping like this, again, not necessarily the worst thing to give up all those tickets like that. It just, man, yeah. Eagle, can you put me in the, well, I don't know if I can guarantee that. I take screenshots throughout the battle if something I think looks cool, and we use one of those. If you happen to be in it, then you're in it. Like, I'll take a screenshot right now. I don't know if this will be in the thumbnail, though. Nonetheless. Shootout still continuing here. Union trying to draw CSA attention away from the point, which Union's got some numbers. Confederates, 9th Louisiana, 8th Ohio, countering on 20th Maine again. It's kind of had the job of early capping point. Looks like 23rd New York has been told to balance, I presume, to the Union's. Ooh. Someone else balanced other than 23rd here. Ah! Okay, maybe they didn't bounce someone over. I don't know. Nonetheless. 23rd New York is bouncing over here. And Union is really putting a lot of tension on this Confederate left side. Now, compared to earlier, this is a much more forward Union line and a much further back Confederate line. So Confederates can more easily react to Union's attempts to early cap. But, I mean, part of this too, right, is even if Union doesn't early cap anymore, that's fine. I mean, relative to time, Union's doing absolutely phenomenal in regards to tickets. I mean, the Union team hitting down the Confederates, I mean, you want to hit them down to engage by the 30-minute mark, taking losses by 20, and I mean, they're way ahead of schedule. Way ahead of schedule, and so they can keep the shootout going. My goodness, this has been a night for a shootout, hasn't it? Boys, it's Fortnite. They're about to crank some 90s on the top of their heads.
You're in the bush! You're in the bush!
See him right there, boys.
Northeast!
Shoot him in the fucking face right there. You see that flag?
It's just like the Fortnite tactics of 2016. Very scary. Jeez, and some people have seen them too, and I'm saying in the war rights community, my friends have too. But you know, my first, I actually have to think if this is true or not. First YouTube video I ever made was me not cranking 90s, me winning a Fortnite game. That is my first YouTube video, and I still have it, and it is a memory. It is absolutely a horrid video because I went in such a stupid fashion. And yeah, it's September. Wow. Wow, all right.
Them Yanks are spread out left. They're in skirmish order.
Uploaded on September 11th, 2018. I did not realize it was that date. Oh boy, that's not a good omen. So, Union team continuing to shoot out. Ticket looks fairly even. Union might be slightly up right now. Union team has completely changed strategy from what they had at the beginning to now, which is a little confusing. Union, again, traditionally like this right side, trying to make it a shootout from here. But the tickets do not seem to be favoring Union like it was before.
It's okay, son. Steady your nerve. Drink a little bit like I am. Steady your nerve.
See, I'm just drinking water.
Cat Morgan.
Nice.
0% H2O. That's what I'm drinking.
How the fuck am I in screw machine?
Get grid squared, idiot.
Flag bearers be like that. Or really just anyone be like that. But nonetheless. Man, this has really been a night of shootouts. The joys. You know, watching a good shootout is a glorious thing. You know, volleys are much more... Uh-oh. What's happening? Saucy Brigade pushing forward.
I gotta save the pistol. Get in there, boys. Stay together, stay together, stay together.
Group up, guys. Group up.
The rest of the Confederates charging? It's... I saw seeing a little more. This is interesting. Alright, they're going in. Great arty shot. More Confederates pouring in.
Reinforce east! Counter-charge! Counter-charge!
That charge is going to be held. Union main spawn surging in. The main spawns here might countercharge. Wow. Look at that horse in the wind.
There is a horse here. Fuck. Can you at least kill me?
I was like, dang, that horse bear is... Horse bear. He was kind of cooking on that. But Confederates lose 2 flags there. Tickets are in Union's favor. I mean, this is a battle of tickets, so Confederates taking a risk there. Trying to find a way to, you know, get ahead on tickets does not work. Which, I mean, based on how the round's going, the shootout not going their way, I don't blame them for trying that charge. It's not a bad idea. But it did not work. You know, it's... You know, if something's not working, you know, might as well try to change it up. Union, a couple of their guys forward here trying to keep the flags down. 5th New Hampshire, for the most part. Remix here on horseback. 5-minute despawn timer on those flags, of course. Look at that, we got Garf here. What a guy. Actually, you know, he probably plays the game more than me. I mean, he is a developer, but he's also the cinematography guy, which... They had a horse trailer for that they dropped for this. Beautiful trailer. Would highly recommend. But Union team starting to inch forward here a little more into the center. Jackson's division making their way downtown. Walking fast. That's all I know. And I might not even been right.
I'm sorry, 12VA. I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Wrong company. Wrong company.
sorry, I'm in a bit of a goofy mood. You know... Have a little fun with things. So, yeah, I mean, Confederates with that failed push completely back up. And the Union team notices this, and they're starting to push forward. And an early cap, not the worst thing, not needed. I mean,
shoot that horse. Shoot that officer. Get him off his horse. Kill that officer. Oh, good shot.
well, either Daddy Ninja or
I got him.
Cryo Lancer or Earthshaker there. One of them got it. I don't remember who. I wish I was hitting T during that, but... early cap here. you know, it's still acceptable. You don't need to do it. You know, it's just kind of like a preference thing. The only concern for Union is if they do early cap, they become a defender. I mean, they can hit last stand instead of final push. And if that happens, then the Confederates can retake and win the game instantly. But I doubt Union team's going to play that. You got 25 minutes on the clock. You could just naturally have that clock tick all the way down to 0. And, I mean, you're going to hit the opponents in the breaking. You're going to hit them in the last stand. And, I mean, Union's been winning the shootout the whole game. And so that'll likely continue. And, I mean, they're up by nearly a fourth of a stage right now. Now, Confederates, you have some of them holding really far back in the woods. I don't know if that's an attempt to turtle or just flank. Missouri State Guard is holding out by point. Union's on point right now. Again, don't know if they intend to fully cap or not. You got Sussex Brigade holding back here. And then you, of course, got a lot of Confederates in the woods there. Union gets off point. Yeah, and I mean, Union, there's no reason to... Free States Brigade here, there's no reason for them to early cap. I mean, again, it doesn't hurt you at this point if you do it. If you don't, preference for me would be to not early cap. But just because there's so much time on the clock, if there's like 10 minutes left, then early capping here would make a lot of sense.
No, what?
Follow the horse.
Wow. I don't recall the last... I mean, how long was last round? I'm saying this more for myself. $43 minutes. And I didn't include the first 2.5 minutes of the round, so... That was... Wow, 45 minutes? That, huh. Feels like it would have been shorter than what it actually is. I mean, the kill rate in both these rounds is kind of picked up here. And I mean, Union team, if they wanted, could start pre-capping this. Just so that the moment Confederates hit breaking, you cap and win. Again, Confederates still got a little bit of tickets. You can play that game back and forth. Looks like First Delaware is being told to swap back over. So they're going from Union to CSA. They must have been the other group to balance here. Union right now. Up by a good amount. It's actually fairly kind of late into a match if you think about it to be balancing. But it's not the craziest thing. There was like 7 minutes left in Historical Rules event this Sunday. And that's what they did. Union don't early cap. 20th Maine backing off the point. Good on them for that and that recognition. See, if it's like both sides are high taking losses, you can cap. But when it's low taking losses or like low engaged or low battle ready, that's when you don't want to cap. Because regardless of if Union early caps, if the defenders are in a itty bitty left of taking losses or a full stage of taking losses, it's 7-minute counterattack regardless. Why is it 7 minutes? That's just what the game developer decided. It's 7 at taking losses, 12 at engaged, 20 in battle ready. But anyways, if Union is at a full taking losses and they early cap, 7 minutes is not enough time for the Confederate defense to knock the Union down 2 morale stages in the last stand to retake. But if the Union's in a sliver of taking losses and then they early cap, it's very possible for the Confederates to knock Union down a little over a morale stage in 7 minutes to knock them in the last stand. Now, they have to be aggressive non-stop during that, but it's a lot more possible that way. That's why saying early cap at this point is mid. But 20th Maine doing a really good job of this pre-cap game. Confederate, a good amount of their team is starting to cycle out to the Missouri State Guard, extreme right side here. It's like 8th Ohio, Missouri State Guard out here. Womp womp, buddy. That's my absolute favorite voice clip that I've seen is Hood saying womp womp, buddy. That's like years old at this point. I haven't heard that in a while. I don't know what the context was. Probably not a good one. Alright. If they early cap, we can see who done did it. Honestly, if I was Union, I might team kill if they're about to early cap. But Confederates rush onto the point. 59th New York's going to prevent Sussy. And our Union team's just going to slaughter them because they're in the open. Union's starting to push down from Hill on the right side. Union team really pushing up, and Confederates, again, kept pulling back. Confederates hit breaking, so if Union captures point at any time, they win the game, and Union's not pressing us.
Alright, fuck it.
Yeah, this round's not looking good for Confederates here. More Confederate bodies pouring on point. You have some Union charging in. First Delaware. I think they just wanted to switch back to CSA to be with the rest of Sussy, but yeah, we got a battle line here, battle line shootout. Confederates a lot more in the open. Union's got the shade and some concealment here. A lot of them in the open, but Confederate lines are going to get battered here. They're starting to back off almost immediately.
Shoot those fuckers! Shoot these cocksuckers! The second you spawn in, fall in. Don't reload behind the line.
What the fuck I would use for a fucking bar right now?
Oh, dude, they are right in front of us.
This is a close one.
This isn't gonna be long.
Yeah, Union's inching. They got more guys on point now. Confederates have to go in. Union's like edging cap right now, and it's forcing Confederates to just go into this open little area here, and they're getting slaughtered.
Keep shooting, keep shooting, keep.
And this is just delaying the inevitable at this point.
Just keep it nice and spread, 7.
I mean, hey, this is probably helping the KD of Free States Brigade side, that's for sure. Point still teetering. I mean, look, Union is still not on break. There they are. Confederates, though, I mean, they've lost almost a half morale stage in breaking. And they keep losing more and more bodies on point. Try to shove more guys into point to hold it, but this is delaying the inevitable.
Ooh, I saw my bullet. What? You're going.
I mean, just look how spread out this Union line is. That's part of it, too. Union, not too concerned with capping point, and so they have a lot of guys off of it, and they're just spreading out and shooting into a very clumped-up CSA team. And usually this spread-out team's going to win that shootout, especially because there's just a lot of bullets going in one little area, concentrated area. Officer's still alive.
Hey, cat behind you. Cat behind you. Cat behind you.
Oh, shit!
Oh, I'm out of ammo.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, that off. No, he's dead. All right. Yeah, Union team, they're going to get a win here. Confederates surge through. Nonetheless, they're about their last stand. What a crazy way to end the day. Absolute slaughter to end the round. Free States Brigade going to get a win here over Missouri State Guard in our second round, the second match of Smoke and Steel League season number 5. I mean, fairly simple. Union team gets an early lead with the shootout, and eventually they early cap. They get up a morale stage and kind of give it up a little loosely, a little easily. And Confederates even it back out. Union shift attention from the far side of the map to kind of the short side of the map. And Confederates try to change something up, charge out Union. You know, not a bad idea, but doesn't work out. And Union just kind of shoots their way to victory like we saw all of tonight. Anyways, Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel more, go beneath the video, hit the join button. By doing so, you can get a live stream of all the War of Rights broadcasts that we do. If you're playing in this match, send me a link to your perspective, and that can go in the pinned comment video of the video. If you want to sponsor a broadcast, which thank you to the 5th New Hampshire for sponsoring this broadcast, you can sponsor a whole event broadcast, or you can put a little halftime ad of your regiment in between the rounds. Check out the Patreon for that. It greatly helps support the channel, as we are now having other people broadcast consistently outside of me. But nonetheless, appreciate you all for watching. It means the world. God bless. Have a wonderful rest of your night.